Hello, this video brought to you by Sankran. Visualforce Beyond Basics. Use custom labels for global reach. As most of the developers knows that their app won't be used by only one location. And this is the and given that Salesforce is a global platform, it could the applications or the code you develop it could reach different locations in the globe. So it it's important to think about couple of things mainly in my mind always goes through when I do the coding. The local support, that's different time zones, and the language. These couple of things is the one a couple of things you need to really care about when you do the coding, because these are the two things which will get changed depending on the location, and which is very important because time, you know that everything everything binds towards time in Salesforce. So it's very important. And also the language is also very important because it's going to communicate to the end user and the people who is going to work with your app. The other thing is, of course, there's one more thing called currency, which is pretty much not a big difficult thing because it's everything is automatically handled. If you have a multi-currency support, then if whatever currency the object has, it follows that currency, and whatever the user has, then it automatically gets translated. Since it's in the conversion between one currency to another currency is a standard one, there's no problem, there's no complication. But with the time zones and language, it changes between different time different places, and in different cases you need to handle different way. But currency pretty much standard, but apart from one or two cases where you apply certain percentage in more certain currency, certain commission in certain apps, so things like that. There are only few glitches, but with language and time, you will have so many complications. So it's best to do that beginning rather than doing it later. Let's come to the point here. Custom labels. This is used for providing multi-language support. That too, since Visualforce is a framework for UI, it it needs to communicate well with the user who doesn't have well proficient in language, in that particular language. The standard language is English. So how do we achieve it? This translation bench is nothing but a map of your label with specific values in the specific language. For example, if I have hi, then it it could be spelled differently. It could be completely different in each language, right? So you will have a different mapping for high label. Then in Visualforce, when you mention high, then automatically it gets changed to the user language. When I say user language, it's actually configured under language and time zone settings. See language, you have whatever the user has, then that language will be applied when it gets displayed to the user. So there are a few use cases in my experience I have seen. For example, some clients have the org, but in US or UK, but the end users will be in different places, like in India or UAE, and so Pakistan, so many places. So or even China, China and Japan is a big market. So you will have, in order to reach different geological space, you need to basically support this multi-currency and sorry multi-language. Then in some countries, like particularly in China, who may not be very proficient with languages, so English language, so you need to provide a translation to their own language, Mandarin. Obviously, Salesforce supports it, so you need to configure that all the translations for labels and the text, everything. So I've seen some companies, some org uses heavy like 1000 2000 labels, 1000 2000 text for the normal apps, so it's not quite uncommon. And if you're developing an app for ISV or your own app published in App Exchange, then you need to really think about custom labels instead of hard coding it. The other language, other use case, even me personally using it, given that I'm working in an org which is only used in UK and US, which is English country, so they basically they don't have problem, but still I'm using it. There is a purpose for it, because the labels, whatever they say in this UI, it could change anytime, because one user might sometimes when you get the requirement, they say they want something, then later on they go back to the end user and they change that they want to give more, they want to change the text, they want to change from text A to B, and or they want to change the text A to AB. They want like that, they want to add more or remove or something like that. So instead of again hard coding the label or description or whatever static, I would call static text in the Visualforce page, bring all the static text into custom labels, so that you can use that, and when it gets rendered, you will get the normal proper translation instead of hard coding in Visualforce page. It's also good in terms of reusability, because if you for example, one big advantage or use case I have seen is help text. For example, there used to be a button in 4 5 pages. That button is a common piece, and normally that button has a help text which is like one full paragraph with 5 6 lines, and if you want to do that, I need to copy the 6 lines of text in all pages, right? But if you use label, then simply you can use the label name in all these pages, and it's just editable in one place, and it reflects everywhere. So there are some use cases. So ideally Visualforce page should not have any static text. Then if it has, then it's something wrong. You should really move that to custom labels. So for the example I have given is, I've made my local language as Hindi just for a demonstration. What I've done is, I've given the opportunity name and the bracket, I have given the label. So I'm getting the appropriate translated Hindi label, and then I'm putting a value. This is a simple example. So this is how it works, and it's really powerful, and I would ask all the developers to use it, because I've seen some very few orgs use it. Um, so I mean, I've seen all orgs use it, but all orgs use for only specific purpose, not for everything. But I would ask everyone to use for everything. All the static text should be used like in through custom labels. Don't forget to like this video and provide your comments or feedbacks below. If you like this video and want to share with friends, please share them, and if you want to notify about my future videos, please subscribe below. Thank you.